Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Algorand. Before we jump into the price action, I'd just like to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Okay, so what we were looking at here was a couple of things. It is getting quite choppy towards the top end of this move here, and it is making me a bit suspicious of it, to be honest. And we need to just be aware that there is still the potential we're forming a bigger corrective structure, something like this, where we form a three-wave move here, and then we could actually look for a five-wave move to the downside, um, or even a three-wave move just as a bigger W, an X, and a Y, or alternatively an ABC where we get a five-wave move to complete it to the downside, looking for this lower range here of this 2158 to this 1775. We also need to be aware that we do have a way that we are counting this, that this could be an additional fourth wave, looking for the potential of a zigzag, and then actually looking to break down and take us down towards some of these zones here, towards this 1352 to this 1045. So this is all still viable for the time being. We have actually broken out of this channel, and we haven't really come back and retested it. So this is why I'm thinking, we might get a bit of a sideways move here, then a drop into it, and then looking for that move away. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it. There is also the potential we can argue that we have completed into this low point here, and this could actually be starting to make a trending move to the upside where this actually becomes a 1-2, and then we look for that third wave to the upside. Though we don't have any confirmation of that yet, and I want to just see how this starts to play out from the current location. Either way, we are looking for another five-wave move to the upside here if we're looking at it in this way. Looking for this fifth wave, for this C wave, or another five-wave move to make an additional 1-2. Um, I would prefer it to come down deeper though. That's the only thing within the structure. So we need to just be a little bit careful of that. Another thing we were discussing in the previous videos, we were talking about the possibility that we could rather just look at this move as a W, an X, and a Y, as a double zigzag in this. In which case, really we need to be careful that this fourth wave hasn't completed into this high, and then we start to break down. So I'm tracking a potential five-wave move down as well. It hasn't confirmed, there's a couple of things that need to happen. So we're going to go through all of these things. Just wanted to give a brief overview of what we are looking at. Okay, so back to the idea that we could have finished into this low point as a flat here, where this is an A, this is a B, and then we look at this as a five-wave move down for this C wave. So if that is true, what we'd be looking for is, like I said, we can either be looking for the potential of this to play out as a B, and a C to the upside, or alternatively, this could become a bigger five-wave move. So looking for that bigger breakout, I have changed how I'm looking at this structure now. We were looking at this previously as a 1-2, 3, 4, and a 5, potentially completed here with an extension in that wave 5. But I've reviewed the smaller internal count, and we can potentially count this as a diagonal, which would make it a bit neater as a structure. So what I'm looking at currently is for the fact that whether the problem is we can also potentially count this as an A, B, and a C if we're going to look at it as a diagonal. So we need to be a little bit careful looking for this impulsive structure. But really, for as long as we hold this 23-29 zone, we can argue that we have that ability to rally for a third wave. We have actually come down to the 07786, which is this 2448 zone. So, for the most part, we have come down deep enough here. So we need to watch this move to the upside. The thing that is making me a bit suspicious of this is this formation here. Just keep on the lookout in case we form a flat correction here, where we get this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially test these tops towards this 2614, and then actually look to break down for a bigger corrective move. So we're going to go over that as well within the structure. But for the most part, we could also argue that within here we have a W, X, Y, X, and a Z, and then it's potentially completed into this low. So, there's a couple of ways of interpreting this move at the moment. If we have formed a low here, and for this wave 2, we wouldn't want to cross back below this 2420 zone. And what we'd be looking for within this structure is we'd want to see a 5-wave move, which it does seem to be that we are getting. And what I'd be looking for is potentially another wave here to the upside. This becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for that fifth wave up. Um, I would say that it needs another wave up for that move to complete. And then what we'd want to do is basically look for that retracement. We can argue that maybe that fifth would come back and retest this zone here. And then what we'd be looking for is a move to back down between the 786 to this 50%. And then what we'd want to see is that support range hold. So this 50% is at 2482. This lower range, this we'd want to see is this 2447. If we start to lose this area, it becomes less likely that this is going to continue and progress to the upside. So what we'd want to see then is basically this form is a 1, 2, and then we'd want to see a 3, 4, 5. So a bigger 5-wave structure here. We'd still have to be a little bit cautious, however, because of this mess over here. We need to just be aware that this isn't an expanding flat, something like that, where we could actually just form a 5-wave move here, and then from this high, we actually take this low point. So it's going to be important if we do form a 5-wave move, once again, a bigger one here, that we look to see whether we catch that 50% to that 786 as support, or whether actually we start to lose some of these zones. So what it could be is that we actually come back down and retest some of these consolidation areas here for that wave 2, and then look for that bigger push to the upside. So that's what we're looking out for. There's not really enough information to sort of say that that's in play yet, and because of this structure here, it's not as high confidence. But basically, what you'd be looking for a confirmation of this would be a bigger move up here towards this 3451. And like I said, what we want to see is basically a 5-wave move form. We'd look for that wave 2 retracement, then potentially get something like this, which brings us up into this area. So that's what we will have to keep an eye on. For as long as we hold that low, like I said here, of this 2420, we can look for that potential to start extending out, but we'd need to hold those key zones. So this would look to potentially push us up towards that 3770, which is 1 to 1 off of this point here of this A wave. So we could potentially be looking for this 3770, looking for this B wave as she is completed here, and then looking for the C wave to the upside. So keep an eye on this. For as long as we hold this 2329, this is still viable. If we start to lose that, however, it becomes less likely. And then potentially we're going to be looking for that move a bit lower down here towards this zone of this 2158 to the 1775. Losing this 1775 would basically give us less chance of being able to count this as a potential impulse to the upside. But yeah, this fourth wave range that we're looking for rejection on is this 3968 to this 3203. So, if we do progress up here, we need to be a little bit cautious towards some of these areas, and we could actually look for a rejection within here, and then look for that continuation down, like I said. So keep that in mind. So the other way I'm looking at this structure is I'm going to just turn all this off here, and we were talking about the potential. Actually, I'm going to keep this on. So we're looking at this as an ABC pattern, so as a flat down here. So, we can also argue that if we wanted to count this move slightly different here, either this can be an ABC, and effectively that would form our X wave high, and then we could actually be looking for this as a bigger move to the downside within this Y wave. So if that's the case, the Y wave 1 to 1 is actually this 2285. And the way I'd then be looking at it is that potentially within this, we're getting something like this as an ABC into here for an A wave, looking for a potential flat here for this B wave, and then looking to break down one more time for that TLC wave. So the zone that I'm currently looking at within this is potentially coming off this 50%. That would be quite an interesting area if we do come up higher here. This 2728 to this 2744 might be of interest. The 786 is up here at this 2819. So this is going to be a key area if we're looking for that bullish potential to actually break through. For as long as we stay below this high point here of this X wave of 2338, we need to just be aware that we can still look for extension. It is also possible, we could move up here, but and like I said, this X wave could still be in play where we actually form this as an A, we come back down B and then C, and then we form this X-ray, potentially re-challenge this, form a double top, and then look to break down from there. So keep an eye on this. This is going to be a key area if we do move back up here. Just want to measure this off, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be somewhere around there, that 1-to-1. If we come up into this high, down into this low. So this 1-to-1 would currently be this 30.53. So gonna have to give it a bit of space here. We could still be within this X wave, so we need to watch these moves to the upside here. If we don't form nice clean impulses, I would be very cautious that we don't just have a bigger connector wave in play here, where this becomes either W, an X, and a Y, or an a B, and then a C to the downside. So yeah, keep an eye on it. This X wave could just be a zigzag in here, and then we look to push down one more time for that Y. Obviously, the higher we come up here, the higher this target is for this Y wave, so we'll have to adjust it. But yeah, for the time being, I would be looking towards this. And it depends, like I said, as well, it depends how high we come up here with this B wave. If we are going to get a flat correction, potentially we could see a move um, down towards the zone of this 22.15 off of this 50% line. So if we do move up towards that 50%, which is this 26.66, um, basically what we can see is, or look for, is that possibility that we could look to actually break down from that point. So I'm going to just throw a fib on this currently, because if we're looking at this as a flat, we've actually hit that 618 already. So if this breaks down, it could just be a running flat, and then actually that target would be lower. This B wave would come here, and would actually push down lower from there. Alternatively, this could become, like I said, a 1-2, then we form a 5 wave move up into this area. So if we're looking at this as a potential expanding flat, the zone I'd be interested in would be this 2707 to this 2636. A move up into this zone in a 5 wave structure like this, that would be potentially enough to complete this as a 5 wave move. So this would be the zone we'd be looking for if we're looking for a flat here in this B wave. So if we do get a flat in this B, then it's possible we could actually look for that continuation to the downside again in this C wave. Like I said, all of these moves are looking for that possibility of coming back down here towards this 2158 to the 1775, and that's looking for this B wave. This B wave could still be playing out. It could have completed here. We don't know yet. We need to wait for that confirmation. But ideally, I would have liked to seen a deeper move. And for as long as we sort of don't meet these target ranges, I am aware, just being aware of the potential that the extension, there could be an extension to the corrective phase within this move. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about this, just to sort of uh, highlight it, is this one. So this does look busy, but I'm going to go over it. So the possibility, like I said, we could argue that this whole move up here is completed in a correction, and we've corrected up and completed into this high of this 2995. And within this structure, what I'm just looking for is the possibility of extension again. So, to the downside, looking at this as the bigger green 1-2, looking for a move down towards this zone of this 1955 to this to this 1955 range would give us a good indication that we actually have a bigger 5 wave move here, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And if we do get a bigger 5 wave structure down like this, it would start to be less likely that we are looking for that continuation to the upside. And then we'd potentially have to argue that this fourth wave has actually played out and we're looking to break down. So need to be a bit cautious within this area. If we do start to break down more impulsively, that target zone that I'm currently looking for would be towards this 1352 to this $10, sorry, 10 cent 45. Okay, so within this, I'm going to go over some of the sub counts here, so it'll be easier to tell when we get invalidation. So I'm looking at this potentially here as a 1-2 into this, and then another 1-2 here. So it is possible this wave 2 could effectively complete here. And then we could look at this in two ways as a potential diagonal down, where this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we could be looking for a B wave here, or wave 2, where this becomes another 1, 2, and then we look to break down. However, it is also possible we could just get a flat here. So the flat idea kind of, it remains the same within this structure. We could see, like we just went over, this play out as an ABC, potentially come up into some of these zones. The 618 area here would be this 2650. The higher range of this would be this 2711. So, this is something that is also possible. So keep an eye on it. If we do form a flat structure into here, and then we get a much deeper impulsive move to the downside towards this 2102 zone, then it is possible we could be looking for additional fourths and fifths here. If we do move down to this 2102, what I'd be looking out for would be that possibility of having a three-wave structure play out to the upside. That fourth wave target area would be this 2343 to this 2213, provided we don't have extension within this. If it starts to extend out, it might look to push through these zones. So just keep an eye on that. This is not my preferred count at the moment, but it is starting to show potential of extension here, which would kind of fit in within this bigger narrative of looking for a new low here. So just keeping an eye on it. If we do start to break down more impulsively here and head towards this 2102, then it becomes more likely that I actually have something like this in play. And then we'd have to see how we react basically from the completion of this move, because if we move down into this zone, we could also still argue that from the top here. No, not really. I'd actually, yeah, I mean, so what I would be looking out for within this is, once we complete this section of this move, whether we get this additional fourth wave. If we don't get this additional fourth wave, obviously we'll have a target range for that if it does develop. Then we just have to be careful that we don't have this move actually just as a flat, like we were saying, where we look at this move to the downside as an A, this is a B, and then we get a five-wave move down, looking for this as a C wave, and then we explode to the upside. So just be aware that if we do start to track this blue five-wave move down here, we need to see how we react at the end of this. If we complete down lower here, towards this 1955, but we fail to develop this fourth wave, so we're going to have to keep an eye on these previous fourths when we get down there. If we fail to hold that zone, then we could actually be looking for a continuation to the upside where, like I said, we're looking at this as an A, a B, and then we're looking for that C wave up. So yeah, once we get a bit more information on that, obviously we'll be able to narrow some of these things down. But I just wanted to bring a couple of options to the table so everyone can track it themselves. Okay, everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out; it is free to join. Also in the description you'll find affiliate links for PrimeXBT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. Check them out for yourselves. If you don't have an account with them, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.